Bentar, udah saya
Udah ada. Depan-depan.
oh, di depan, oh depan, belakang.
Depan.
Oke. Kayak yang menang dapat tim pemerintah.
Oke.
Oke, belakang berarti apa namanya, tim 2 menjadi pemerintah, tim 4 jadi tim oposisi.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Today's motion is this council will give sanctions to those who are not COVID-vaccinated. Before we start, I will do a roll call. Are all members of the government side present?
Yes, present.
Okay, and the opposition side?
Present.
The adjudicator?
Present.
Okay. First, I will explain the rules. For all speakers, you can talk for 5 minutes and 20 seconds. And for concluding speakers, you have 4 minutes and 20 seconds. I will inform the time of speaking in the chat box. I will inform 3 times when 1 minute pass, 4 minute pass, and 5 minute pass. And for the point of interest will be open when the first minute has passed and close at the 4th minute. Point of interest will be limit 1 minute only. Okay, we start the debate now. I invite the speakers from the government to start the debate.
Hello everyone, I'm from the team government. Will explain about the definition. The definition, immunization is a global health and development success story, saving millions of lives every year. Vaccine definition is vaccine reduce risk of getting disease by working with your body's natural defenses to build protection when you get a vaccine. Your immune system will also respond. The goal is vaccination or immunization aims to make a person's immune system able to recognize and quickly fight bacteria or viruses that cause infection. Must receive vaccine for everyone's safety. The urgency is the current state of COVID has taken many lives, and because of that, it's very urgent to pass this motion. The mechanism is we would like to give sanction for those who are not vaccinated, yet after the vaccinated, trial has begun in a way for them to limit the access of public facilities. People who have received the vaccine will be given a vaccine card. Vaccine card is similar to ID card or driver license. People who have not been vaccinated will be more free to enter public places. This mechanism is similar to before entering a public place, must wear a mask. For people who have not been vaccinated, they cannot go to all public places except for worship place. We are in the midst of global pandemic with COVID-19, and there is a race to develop vaccine. This is the thought to be partly caused by misguided concern over vaccine safety. The goal has been spoken by me, but I also want to add that the concern of anti-vax people is thought to be partly caused by the misguided concern over vaccinated safety. We as the government have agendas on why we will deploy the sanctions, because it gives us mutual benefit not only to the government in the parliament, but also in citizens. The benefit of deploying the sanction, first is ensuring the health of citizens. Second, socializing vaccination to make people to not to be afraid of vaccine. The third is to eradicate the mindset of vaccinated is bad. The last is to have a data for people who have been vaccinated or not from the benefit that have been listed. We do think that the motion would be implemented. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The first speakers of government has spoken for 2 minutes 58 seconds. Next, please the first speakers of opposition to speak.
Okay, I for the first speaker of opposition teams disagree with this motion because we think this section is too excessive against the people who refer to vaccine and it looks like a action. This is very unfortunate for the June because things that are meant to be good but actually looks bad because of action with the emergency of those sections can make people's trust in government decreases. Based on the BBC News, the initial article in Presidential Regulation Number 40 of 2021 concerning vaccine procurement and the implementation. The matter of section is continued in Article 30, paragraph 4. We subjected to administrative the section in the form of postponation or termination of the provision of social security or social assistance. Termination of government administrative service and fines. From this point, we can see that the regulation is excessive because during this policies, many people do not have jobs and it has not been fully tested, which makes the people think that they will be used as experimental human for words that have not been tested for negative impacts.
Okay, thank you. The first speakers of opposition team has spoken for the first speakers of opposition team is spoken for 2 minutes 11 seconds. Next to the second speakers from the government team, please.
Okay. My preferred POI preference is through chats, and I will start my debate, my argument in 3, 2, 1. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, fellow adjudicators, fellow teammates, and fellow opponents. As the second speaker of the government side of the House, I would like to tell you some rebuttals while also giving you the opinions on why the government team really agree with today's motion. Moving on to my rebuttals first before reaching out to my arguments. We do think that the opposition team doesn't get what is the mechanism of the sanction itself. Since already being spoken by the first speaker of the government side of the House, we do believe that in order for this debate to be counted as a debate, we would like for the opposition team to debate on our mechanism instead of debating on any kinds of other mechanisms, such as paying taxes or maybe getting fined and others. if I do need to remind the mechanism, we would like to give sanction for those who are not vaccinated yet after the vaccination trial has begun in a way for them to limit the access of public facilities. So the model of the sanctions would be for those people who don't get the vaccines itself or the complete vaccines, they are being limited the access of public facilities. In order to gain this access back, they need to be at least vaccinated fully and then show them the cards that shows the date of the vaccination itself. This card is similar for those such as the driver's license for people who drive the cars, or maybe the ID in general for the nation, for the citizens of Indonesia itself. So it's simply like saying the obligation of wearing a mask during entering the public facilities, because here in Indonesia, you cannot enter anywhere, especially in public facilities, without wearing a mask. And we would like for the sanctions to be deployed in the same way of vaccination issues itself. The mechanism that we bring is inspired by the vaccines mechanism developed in the whole other world or any whole other nation, such as the Singapore, where the main benefits of the sanction itself that has been spoken by the first speaker of the government team would be to ensure the health of the citizens, while also to have a data for people to have been vaccinated or not. We as the government side of the house do think that for the safety of the whole nation or even the whole country, because like we have said before, it is very justifiable for those people who are not vaccinated to not deserve the same facility or to not deserve the same services for those who have been vaccinated. The measles, mumps, and rubella or the MMR vaccine and the varicella or the chickenpox vaccines are examples of past vaccines. This may not be as dangerous as COVID, but it is still transmittable to everyone who are not vaccinated or doesn't have the immune body to it. Here lies the problem, ladies and gentlemen. If people are not vaccinated, COVID-19 will still be a virus that has major threats towards our nation. Mandatory vaccination, including for COVID-19, can be ethically justified if the threat to public health is very grave. The confidence in safety and effectiveness is high, and the expected utility of mandatory vaccination is greater than the alternatives, and the penalties or costs for non-compliance are very proportionate. I would like to give some examples regarding about choices that we deal in our daily life. The use of seatbelt, indoor smoking room, and all other kind of choices. All these kind of things affect the health and safety of ourselves while also affecting the health and safety around others. If these things are mandatory and obligated for the world, why vaccination cannot be? I'm throwing the burden for the opposition team to explain why should we not vaccinate everyone, or why should we not give sanctions for those people who are not vaccinated. Sorry, but we are not mainly talking about the vaccinating everyone agenda here. We do believe that giving sanction would definitely reach our goals later on. Need to remind you that our goal was to ensure nation safety, which to make sure of it, we required everyone to be vaccinated instead of using hard choices or full-on dictatorship. We would limit the access of public facilities for them. By having the card of vaccination that dates the vaccines, we can determine if someone already vaccinated or not. By making sanctions this way, we can ensure that the public health is ensured. But before determining the sanction itself, we as the government need to make sure to have the best COVID vaccination available for the people here, while also making it very easy to access for those people, especially in the rural areas. So we do believe that the sanction itself would be very fair for those people who have a lot of access for the public facilities and have a threat for the people who are not vaccinated yet, because they will transmit these kind of viruses, especially since the virus keeps evolving, such as the new Delta variants and others. So we do think, as the government side of the house, that this motion should be passed, that we should imply, or we should deploy this kind of sanctions to limit the access of public facilities for the people who are not vaccinated, in order to ensure the public health safety and to not gain any other issue. So as the government side of the house, we agree with today's motion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. For the second speaker of the government has spoken for 5 minutes 24 seconds. Next, please to second speaker of the opposition team to speak.
Okay. Thank you for moderator. Give me a time. Well, I'm here as the second speaker. Want to clarify and rebuttal that the team government team does not have clear evidence. While we have already mentioned that the sanction give are to exercise and exist in the data we mentioned earlier about that. Okay, about the data is that from the presidential or regulation number 14 of 2021 concerning vaccine procurement and vaccination implementation. The matter of the sanction is contained in Article 13A, paragraph 4. The subject administrative sanction in the form of postponement or termination to the purpose of social security or social assistance. Postponement or termination of the government administration service or the finance, or in Indonesia is denda. For this point, we can see that the regulation to exercise because during the pandemic, many people do not have job and the vaccine is not fully tested, right? Okay. Okay, I will next our argument about why we disagree about this motion. Okay, the government is issue President Regulation number 14 that this sanction is very fortunately because it gives the impression that the government is force the people themselves without the providing a clear explanation about the vaccine to be distributed. As we know, there are the several case victims who died after getting the COVID-19 vaccine from Sinovac. Several people died due to being exposed to COVID-19, like heart or blood vessels disease, kidney failure, diabetes mellitus, and hypertension. Meanwhile, the AstraZeneca, several people die after the vaccine, like pneumonia, and the reason for death is unclear. Not like for example, based on the Tick Health article, the case of blood clots caused by the effect of the AstraZeneca vaccine. The seventh country in the Europe is this is okay, right?
Okay, since we are talking about the sanctions right here, I think it's not very relevant if you are talking about the different vaccines. But I would like to say that if the mechanism itself that you are currently bringing is the government currently finding people who are not fully vaccinated, the proof is that I myself is not vaccinated and I still doesn't have the fine given by the government. So I would like for the option side of the house to clarify even.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Okay,
That is all.
thank you. Okay, thank you for the point. Maybe the opposition not clearly here, but this is just example, not the what. This is for apa? This is for example, not the fact. Okay, can continue. The second country in the Europe stopped being used AstraZeneca vaccine because the side effect of using the vaccine were too dangerous of their people life. Of course, this should be mentioned by the government because the distributing the vaccine to the public. The public knows that the impact, but the government forced them to use this vaccine with the threat of the sanction. And the sanction is not the only way to get the people want to vaccinate. There are other ways, such as the frequently socializing about the vaccine to distribute it. Instead of giving sanction of those who refuse. The public has the right of the refuse if there not the detailed information from the government. People are still afraid of this pandemic. Indeed, people want to vaccine. We realize quickly, but if there's no detail from information from the government, it is make they afraid. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the second speaker of opposition team. Has spoken for 5 minutes 51 seconds. And next to the third speaker of the government team to speak, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and good afternoon, dear jury, educators, and moderators. I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Security and justice for all people as stated in the fifth precept of Pancasila. This also applies in the current situation, where is this pandemic we have to take care of and protect ourselves. Our country has rules for the comfort of its people in this state. What is mean here is vaccination provides peace in society, and state has sanctioned against violation of comfort in the state. The point is that if someone is not vaccinated, it will cause concern for other people. Therefore, in carrying out the rules, there are strict sanctions for the convenience of the people. Virtually introducts me, Novian as the third speaker from Pro Team. I have the task of completing or summarizing the journey of our debate today, and also to explain the best scenario that our team has offered. The main objective of the motion given is in line with our team goals, namely the comfort of the people in the country during the COVID-19 pandemic, and COVID-19 vaccination aims to create herd immunity so that people becomes more productive in carrying out their daily activity. This has been explained in our team argument. And then first I will explain or make sure or answer the doubt raised by the opposing team against our team's argument. Since the government team already set the example of the sanction, the opposition side should have follow and debate on our mechanism, not bringing any different sanction or mechanism. Yes, they have the right to refuse to not be vaccinated, but detailed information will always be given, just like my second speaker said there will be no sanction if there is no detailed information about the vaccine, because by having the sanction that we propose, we estimate the all of the details will be open to public and given choice. Let me make a comparison of the opposing team argument with our team's argument that in fact only 31 million people have been killed. Vaccination and 90,500 people die due to misvaccination, and 2 million people recover from vaccination. In comparison, it is the same as seatbelt and smoking room. It's for safety and comfort in society. It is also the same as vaccination. If seatbelt and smoking room are not debated, and we agree on that why vaccination still has to be debated, where vaccination clearly provides security and convenience. From the data that has been provided by our team, it is very clear, and vaccination is very important, and it reflects the 5 precepts of Pancasila. If someone violates one of these precepts, and then that person deserve to receive the appropriate sanction that have been explained in our team argument. From all the argument of our team deserves to win this match. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The third speakers of the government team has spoken for 4 minutes. And next, please to third speaker of the opposition team to speak.
Okay, I'm from speaker 3 of the opposition team. Agree with speaker 1 and 2. We do not agree with this motion, which is impose section on those who are not vaccinated against COVID. Why? Stated by speaker 1 that we think this section is to exercise force for people who refuse to get vaccine, and it look like coercion, as explained by speaker 1 regarding presidential regulation number 14 of 2021 concerning vaccine procurement and vaccination implementation. The matter of section is contained in Article 13 of paragraph 4 have a job, and the vaccine has not been fully tested, which make people think they will be used as experimental. Human for vaccinated that have not been tested for negative effect. In addition, the reason our team rejected this motion was because there were cases of death after being vaccinated against COVID-19, as described in Kompas.com. A man from Jakarta died after being inoculated with the COVID-19 vaccine. Name is the vaccine AstraZeneca vaccine. The young man named Trio Fakwi Firdaus is 22 years old from Buaran, Jakarta. The trio died on Thursday after being injected with the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine 1 day earlier. And another reason, namely human rights violation. This clearly violates human rights. Why? Because everyone has the right to vote, and the protected by law number 8 of 1999, which contains right and protection. I think enough from me. Thank you.
Thank you. The third speaker of the opposition team has spoken for 2 minutes 43 seconds. Next to the conclude speaker of the opposition team to speak, please.
Okay, thank you for the time. I'm here as the reply speaker to convey the course of today's debate and the reason why the team opposition must win in this debate. So the debate this time, both the team demand. Let me explain about the debate today debate. Debate this time, both team remain firm of their respective argument. However, our team has very detailed and clear argument and data that have been speak by the first and second speaker. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, our team has the right to win this debate. I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. The conclude speakers from opposition team has spoken for 1 minute 5 seconds. And next to the conclude speakers of the government team, please to speak.
Okay, thank you, moderator. I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. one. Okay, good morning, everyone, fellow adjudicators, teammates, opponents, and also moderators. I am Rafli as the reply speaker on today's debate round. Would like to conclude on how this debate goes, on why the government team should win this round, and how the opposition team should not win this round. Okay, so during the debate rounds, the government team have spoken their and also explained thoroughly the plan of their mechanism, their goals, the definition, their models, and others. The essence of the debate here is that the opposition team should have debated about our mechanism and should not debated about any kind of other mechanism, such as such as that we hear before in the second speaker and the third speaker of the opposition team of the House, is that they think that our mechanism would find the people who are not vaccinated, which is not very true. Um, which which our mechanism have been explained from the first speaker and also explained again on the second speaker in case if there is still need of clarification. But we do think that the opposition side of the House still thinks that the mechanism that they are fighting is not the mechanism that we have brought. So we do think that this is the flaw of the opposition side of the House. Not only that, the opposition team have also brought some laws, such as the presidential laws, if I'm not mistaken. And when we asked for POI to clarify about the mechanism that they are currently clashing, they say that this was just an example. The thing here is that the adjudicators, the plan of the motion here is to find the best type of sanctions here. So all of this is an example. The mechanism that have been given by the government side of the House is deemed very effective since it has been brought from the first speaker, second speaker, and the third speaker, and it is not currently implemented. But what comes to mind of the government side of the House is the confusion that is being given from the opposition side of the House, where they say that it was an example, but from the first speaker and the third speaker of the opposition side of the House, they have spoken about the presidential laws regarding of the vaccine itself, where in reality the vaccination batch itself has just recently being announced to be publicly given. Not only that, our third speaker also have gave a comparison using some data where there are a lot of people who have been killed for those people who are not being vaccinated instead of being vaccinated itself. This data actually prove of how sanctioning in our side of the House is very exclusive and very beneficial demanding, such as being given the benefit of the sanction itself has been given from the first speaker of the government side of the House, such as ensuring the health of citizens, socializing vaccinations, and to eradicate the mindset of vaccine is bad, and also to have a data for people who have been vaccinated or not. Now, this kind of benefits have been given and explained furthermore on the second speaker's speech, while also given example and some data given by the third speaker's speech. So we do think in the case of data, or maybe in the case of examples, both of the teams have the same amount of the data and none of them win. But why the government side of the House should win this kind of the debate? Because one example would be that the government team stick to the status quo and also debating the mechanism while also protecting our mechanism itself. We also have given a POI that have been accepted by the opposition side of the House, which is very good. But after those POI, we still think that the POI itself is not being answered fully by the opposition side of the House, because they are still talking about the cases of different vaccines, but not the real effective way on why we should not sanction on their exclusivity. While in the government team, we still think that we should sanction those people in a way on limiting the facilities itself. We do think that our mechanism is very effective, and that is why the government side of the House should win this debate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The conclude speakers from the government team has spoken for 4 minutes 24 seconds. Okay, thanks for the debate. Please give the judge time to discuss the result first.
Moderators, I would like to ask for your help to adjudicate. You can join me on the breakout room. Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. So
So I would like to start with comments. So the government team has explained very well about their goals to fight the virus, and also did a good job on explaining their idea of mechanisms. And then for speaker 2, they also emphasize on public safety, health and safety around others, and limit public facility for the non-vax. And the government side of the house also gives a point of interest about what was it? It was vaccine types that here in this motion they not have a connection with this motion. And then the opposition side have already tried to reply the point of interest, but in my opinion, they failed to reply with a strong arguments. And then, okay, opposition team. For the first speaker, I'm sorry, but I don't get what are you speaking, because you're inaudible. And then for the second speaker of the opposition, what I get from you is you mentions a lot about this, the side effect of the vaccine, like for example, Sinovac and AstraZeneca. Yeah, I think that's all what I get from you. And then from the third speaker, said the vaccine is not fully tested, experimental, and then more fact from the side effects of vaccine, that a man died and then a trio died after AstraZeneca shots. This is very hard to decide, but I would like to side with the government team this time, because first they explains the mechanism very well. They explain their goals. They give some point of interest which the opposition side, in my opinion, failed to reply. And yeah, they also mentioned that the presidential law is new, and then it's not like a solid argument, in my opinion. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Educator.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Okay,
everyone.
since the result is out, the debate is over now. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Moderator.